Good evening, everyone. This is Roshni from CSSC. Welcome to our DSC Lindy's first ever event, a bootcamp of 3 days on HTML and CSS. To sum up on the plans of our club, I would say this year we are going to learn many new technologies outside of our curriculum. If I brief them, then there are five main categories. One is web development, app development, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and the cloud computing. If you guys have chosen a domain interest and strive hard along with us, by the end of the year, you have got a master in the technologies. To my panelists that's of our second years, I would like to add that, guys, let's strive even harder as that the next DSC lead should be from us to continue this legacy. Well, coming back to our today's bootcamp, as we know that HTML and CSS are two technologies for building or structuring or to give a layout to any of our web pages. And the HTML, which is a markup language and provides the structure, what we are going to concentrate for today. So hope you guys were excited for the event and you would master on learning and executing the things simultaneously. Let's rock our first event without any further delay with our speaker for today and my highly regarded senior Maniteza Prada will continue the further session. Welcome.
Thank you, Roshni, for your wholehearted welcome. Hello everyone. Welcome to our first bootcamp session on how to build our own website using HTML and CSS. So, as already Roshni stated, let me give me a brief introduction about myself. So, my name is Maniteza. I'm currently as a lead of DSC Lindy. I'm currently pursuing my third year in CSC department, and I will be your instructor today. So, as before starting the event, I just want to clear some points. So please mute yourself for the entire event. If you have any queries, please use the chat box. And also turn your phone into landscape mode so that the entire screen will be visible to you. And please don't put spam messages in the chat box. It will be somewhat disturbing to others. If you have any issues with the audio or video, please do let us know. And if possible, please turn on your do not disturb mode and enjoy the HTML show. Okay, now I just want to talk about what we will cover in this session. So in this session, we basically clear you about 3 points. The first one is what is HTML, and the other one is basic syntax of HTML. And by the end of this session, you will be able to build your own website, which is visible in your own laptop or computer. Okay, before going into HTML, I just want to give you a brief introduction to HTML. So if you visit any website, you will see a URL on the top. So basically, a website consists of 3 parts. Majorly 3 parts: front end, back end, and a database. So front end is the part that is visible to you, like the text. As you can see, this is the Facebook website. The text, the button, the inputs, all these things are visible to you. So these constitute a front end part. So example for backend will be whenever you try to log in with your email ID and password, if you enter correct credentials, it will log in into the home page. Else it will tell you an error. Right? So this is backend checking. So these logics will be executed in the backend part, and the information regarding all users, all posts will be stored in the database. All 3 of these will constitute to make a full website. Okay, so before starting, do you observe any differences in these 2 pictures? Do let us know in the chat box. If any interested, you can speak out. Do you find any differences in these 2 pictures? Okay. Now see this. Do you find any differences between these 2 pictures?
Yes.
What is the difference? You can speak out, not an issue.
Captain and vice captain.
Oh.
Background is also different.
Background is
different.
Let me clear that. Yeah, in the previous slide, what I shown you is 2 skulls. So basically, they are nothing but 2 skulls. But now I shown you two different pictures. Who is the left one? Do you know his name?
Rohit Sharma.
Okay, who is the one to the right side?
Virat Kohli.
Virat
Okay, okay. Just for a second, assume that the skull to the left one is Rohit Sharma's, and the right skull is Virat Kohli's. Do you find any differences between these two skulls?
No.
Okay.
No.
But in this picture, you are able to tell that this is Rohit Sharma and this is Virat Kohli. So the ultimate main point of this is nothing but so these HTML and CSS and JavaScript will work together to form a complete front end part. So HTML is simply, it provides the basic structure to our website. It is similar everywhere. Like if you do a small HTML project, it will be equal wherever you go. So HTML won't change. It simply provides you a small structure of your website. And JavaScript is the one that it works as a brain to our website. Means it connects all parts together. But CSS is thing that differentiates one HTML from another HTML. So as you can see, like Facebook, Instagram, and all the social medias will look same or look different. All of the social media apps, these will look different, right? So the difference in the CSS part. So CSS is the one that styles our website, and HTML is the one that gives a small basic structure to our website. Okay. Okay. So enough introduction. So let's get started with the HTML part. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So it is a way of displaying information on a web page in your browser.
break అవుతుంది. Syntax.
Voice break out na? Just 1 second.
Okay.
Guys, is it clear now?
It's clear.
Okay.
Yeah, Mantha, that's clear.
So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So it is a way of displaying information on a web page in your browser. So HTML will run on your browser. So one thing that I want to clear is HTML is not a programming language. Please keep in that mind. So HTML is not a programming language, but it is a markup language. So you can ask, what is the difference between a programming language and a markup language? So programming languages like C++, Python, Java uses some logic to do anything. So take an example. If you click the button, do some task. Else, do not do anything. So this is a condition, right? If else condition. So all these programming languages will do certain things based on these conditions. But HTML is not a programming language, but still it is very important. So HTML is made up of tags. So what are meant by tags? Tags are special tags that we use to mark up different parts of your web page, like headings, images, and all this stuff will be called as tags. You will know further. And each tag will display in browser according to the tag. Like a heading tag will be displayed in some certain styles. Link tags will display in certain styles. So HTML is majorly constituted of tags. So okay, so before going into HTML live session, I highly recommend you to install these tools. So you need a text editor. You can use Visual Studio Code or Sublime Text Editor or Atom or anything. Our community will post the links in the chat box if you need. Please install them in your laptop. And also you need a browser, obviously, either it be Chrome or Firefox or anything. You can use whatever you use. And a small basic knowledge of tags, which I will teach you now. So okay, now how can we create our first HTML file? So simply you can create a HTML file with a simple .html extension. So you can simply open your notepad and do not type anything, simply save it with any name with .html extension. So okay, anything will have some basic prerequisites. So HTML also have that basic structure. You need to follow this structure, whatever HTML file you do. So the first thing is doc type HTML tag. So this doc type line will tell the browser that the below code is HTML. So the browser will run accordingly to that HTML version. So doc type HTML, usually we used to place the version number there, like HTML4, HTML5, XHTML. So those are the versions. But currently, the widely used version of HTML is HTML5. And by default, it is HTML5. So you need not need to mention the HTML5. Simply, you can mention doc type HTML. So after that, the first one and the root tag is HTML. So it simply acts like an hash include tag in your C++ program. So hash include does it will import some of the predefined styles and all those things in the C++ program. Similarly, HTML is a root file, which means all of your HTML code will need to be inside the HTML tag. Okay, so it will give some styles to those tags. Like the browser will understand that this is an HTML tag with the help of this root tag. So all of your HTML code must be placed inside this HTML tags. So after that, HTML tags are basically divided into two sections. So the first section is head. As you can see, the first section is head, and the second one is body. So head is the section where we load our CSS files, JavaScript files, and all those stuff. The head section is not visible to the user. It simply provides the structure to the document, and the portion that is entirely visible to us will be inside the body tag. So whatever you write in the body tag, it will be displayed to the user. Okay. So the next thing I want to tell you is, so before starting the live coding, I need to just read 8 points about basic tags in HTML. So in HTML, there are many tags, but there are some certain tags that you must need to know to create some basic HTML files. So you can read this. We have text heading tags like H1, H2, etc. We also have paragraph tags. We also have a horizontal ruler and link tags. We also have list, images, dividers, buttons. All of these tags I will show you one by one. And also each tag will have some extra attributes as well. So these are the 3 attributes which are widely used in an HTML tag. Like means the ID will provide a name to a tag. As you can see in the usage part, we need to use like this. So ID will give a unique ID to a tag. For example, assume that you used 3 heading tags in a single HTML file. So all those 3 must need to be differentiated from one another. So you need to give an ID to each class. So ID will basically what it does is it uniquely identifies each HTML tag. So it is basically mostly used when we link our HTML and JavaScript together. So and the second attribute is class. So class is simply used to provide an entire CSS style given a complete block of element. We will learn about classes and the style tags in the next class, which is a CSS. All right. So enough presentation, I guess, which is boring. Now let's see some live action of HTML. Are you ready? Show your excitement in the comment section. Just give a minute, I will turn on my presentation. Yeah, is the screen visible, guys?
Yes, you can continue. Okay. It's visible.
So now let's start creating our first HTML file. Okay. So if you are in a computer, you can follow with me. If you don't have a computer, you can also use the online HTML compilers. The links will be given in the chat box. So okay. So as I told you earlier, I use Visual Studio Code as my text editor. You can use whatever you have. That's not an issue. So okay. So before starting a HTML file, I will simply create a folder on my desktop. So I will name this as project. Okay. Now what I will do is I will open that folder in my Visual Studio Code. Okay, so now what I do is I will simply create a file inside that folder. Is this visible now? Okay, so I will create a HTML file. So as I told you earlier, the file name must end with an .html extension. So .html. So I will simply save this. I will close the text editor. I will open the folder. So as you can see, the index file has been created to us. And if you observe closely, it also gave a predefined icon to it. So the icon is nothing but it is my default browser. I use Microsoft Edge. So it simply gave me the Microsoft Edge as the default icon. If you use any other browser, the corresponding icon will be displayed here. So now let's do one thing. Let's open this file. How to open? Simply double click. What will happen? Let's see. So it's simply opened in the browser. So as I told you earlier, HTML runs on the browser. So whatever you write, HTML code you write, it will simply execute it in the browser. Okay. Now I simply keep an just wait. Is this not working? Okay. So on the left side I have a text editor, and on the right side I have the browser. So you can see the live differences, whatever it is. So as I told earlier, the first line in a HTML file must be started with the doc type tag. So in this one, I simply write like this: hello world. This is my first HTML file, and I'm excited. So I'll simply save this and refresh the page here. So as you can see, what I wrote on the left side, it's simply executed on the right side. So you can wonder, like as I told you earlier, I need to I haven't included the HTML tag. I didn't wrote about doc type tag, anything. I simply wrote some text as a text file. It displays the same text over there. So, but as you can observe, the file name extension is .html. So it automatically understands that this is the HTML file. So we need to explicitly mention those doc type tags, HTML tags, etc. But whenever you want to make your website public, you need to include those tags. So this method is not preferable. You must need to use those predefined structure. So the first one is doc type. Visual Studio Code will automatically fill this. So I simply wrote doc type HTML. So the next tag I told you is HTML. So this is the root tag to all of our HTML. So I simply wrote an HTML tag as well. And again, I told you something about head tags and body tag. So this is a structure in shown earlier. I simply did the same structure, and I will save this now, and I will refresh here. As you can see, I didn't wrote nothing, but you need to get it out. Like I wrote these now, but these tags aren't visible in the browser. So this is HTML. So as I told you earlier, HTML is made up of tags. So what is a tag? So a tag is kind of like a keyword in a programming language. So these tags will be understood by the browser. So the browser will understand, like, this is the head section, this is the body section, and the HTML will not display tags in the browser. It simply displays whatever we write between those tags, which means a tag consists of two parts. The first one is opening tag, and the second one is closing tag. If a tag consists of these two parts, it is called as container tag. So container tags are those kind of tags which has both opening tag as well as closing tag. If a tag only has an opening tag, it is called as non-container tag. So this doesn't have a separate opening tag and separate closing tag. It only has single tag. I will show you all these elements this way. Okay. First, let's discuss some of the container tags. So container tags are those tags which have both opening tag and closing tag. So I will show you some of the basic tags. So the first container tag that we need to learn is heading tags. You can understand from the name itself, these tags are used to display headings on our website. So what is a heading? It is simply a large text with some high weight, those things. So HTML provides us 6 heading tags. So those are included as the H1 tag, the H2 tag, H3 tag, H4, H5, and H6. So these are the tags, heading tags that are available in HTML. So the H1 tag is the largest among all tags. So it displays the largest heading among these 6 tags. And the H2 is somewhat lower than the H1, and the H3 is somewhat lower than H2. And ultimately, H6 is the smallest tag in HTML. So as I told you earlier, this is a container tag. A container tag means it has an opening tag as well as closing tag. So this is the opening tag. And the closing tag is differentiated within a forward slash. So whatever you write in between this opening tag and closing tag will be displayed on the browser. And these tags won't be displayed in the browser. Simply whatever we write inside these tags will be displayed inside the browser. So let's try some of the heading tags first. Okay, as I told you earlier, all these tags must be placed inside the body tag. So the head tag is used to include CSS files and JavaScript files. So at present, we don't need to use the head tag. When we introduce you to the CSS, we will tell you how to use those head tags. So I simply write here H1 hello world. I simply save it and I will refresh it. Magic. So that's it. So I simply wrote a H1 tag on the left side, and automatically on the right side you can see with a big weight and font size is also increased when compared to. And also I simply write like this as well. Hello world without any tag. So now let's see what is the difference. So this is the heading tag. So that's why it is a somewhat more boldish, and also the font size is very large. And this is the usual text. So it HTML doesn't provide any stylings to it. And we also write some of the other heading tags as well. So the next one is H2 tag. Okay, save it and refresh. As you can see, the H2 tag is somewhat smaller than the H1. We are all. So you can do it along with me if you have in laptops. H4, H5, and ultimately H6. So that's it. I will save it and refresh here. So as you can see, I wrote 6 times the hello world using 6 different tags, and this is the stylings that is applied by the HTML. So as you can see, this is the largest of all. It is the H1 tag. It is somewhat smaller than the H1. It is H2. This is H3. This is H4, H5, and H6. If you can see closely like this, as you can see, all of these 6 tags are in bold. I mean, it is not like I will also write the normal hello world as well. So find the difference. As you can see, the normal hello world text has normal font weight, but these 6 tags have a bold weight, which means these are headings. These are need to be differentiated, right? So the font weight of these tags will be much higher. So this is about the heading tags. Now I will tell you some of the paragraph tags. Okay. So the next one is a paragraph tag. A paragraph tag is nothing but it is used to display a large amount of data in the web page. So as you can guess, the heading tags are started with the letter H. The tag started with the letter H. So simply the paragraph tags with starts with the letter. You can guess in the comment section with which letter the paragraph tag will start. Any guesses? Keep it with the tags, not simply the text. Yeah, good. That's it. So your guess is correct. We use a simple p tag to indicate the paragraph tags. So it is also a container class. Container tag, which means it has both opening tag as well as closing tag. So this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. Don't forget the closing tag will have a forward slash before the p. So simply whatever we write in between these paragraph tags will be executed on the browser. So now let's try this tag on the real page. So p, hello, this is a paragraph. So I will save it and refresh here. So as you can see, it simply displayed what I wrote. It simply displayed without any styles, like the font weight is not increased. It's simply the plain text styles. That's it. If simply I replace the p tag with an h1, see the difference. So as you can see, the heading tag is much larger, and as well as it has more font weight as well. But the paragraph tags don't have any default style. It simply has a small text and no additional styles are applied. So this is the p tag. So it's generally used to display a large text like paragraphs. So h tags are used to display headings, a large text, and paragraph tags are simply used to display the paragraph information. Okay. So let me clear this up. Next, I want to tell you another text styles. So the first one is making the text bolder. So, okay, start your guessing. To make a text bold, what is the tag that we need to use? You can start answering in the comment section. What will be the tag? Simply, to bold a text, we need to use the b tag. So whatever we write in between these b tags, the text will be automatically increased its font weight. I will show you it. So I will simply write a paragraph here. Hello world. Okay, I will save it and refresh it. So a paragraph tag is displayed over there. Now what I will do is I will simply replace this in a b tag. Hello world. So as you can see the difference, the font size hasn't changed. What changed is the font weight, which means the letters are much thinner in the paragraph tag, but it is somewhat bolder in the second text. So this is the b tag. So what a b tag does is simply increases the font weight of a tag. So that is about the b tag. So now let's see how we can change the style using the italic tag. The italic is nothing but making the font inclined towards the right side. Okay, so okay, you can start guessing now. To make an italic tag, what is the tag that you need to use? Very good, very good. I'm seeing in the chat box as well. Exactly. So to make a tag italic, I simply need to use the I tag. So whatever I write in between these I tags, it simply replicates into an italic tag. So I will write it over here. So I simply change this B to an I tag, and I will simply save it and refresh it. So as you can see, I'm sorry, this is not this hello world is somewhat inclined towards the right side. So this is italic. So to make the text bold, we need to use the B tag. To make the text italic, we need to use the I tag, italic. Okay. Okay. Now what I want is to underline the text. I need to have a line bottom of the text. So what is the tag that I need to use to make underline text? Start your guess in the chat box. Okay. So to make the text underlined, I simply need to use the U tag. So whenever whatever I write in between those U tags, it will simply replicate it in an underlined format. So let's see that in action. So I will replace this I tag with a U tag. So as you can see, the text hello world now has a small underline in the bottom. So this is about an underline tag. So these tags are basically the text tags, which means these all tags will be applied to a text. That's it, right? Now we will see some of the other tags apart from these text styling tags. Is it clear till now? You can answer in chat box.
Yes.
Show your response in chat box always, yes or no, so that I will, and if you have any queries, please keep it them. I will ask in the latter part. Okay, that's not an issue. Please keep your queries coming. Just wait a minute, please. My internet is. Just wait, guys. 1 minute. Yeah. Am I audible right now, guys?
Yes, Anaya, you are audible.
Okay.
Yes, you're audible.
So where I start, so the underline tags, so these tags will be simply will be applied to simply change the style of a tag, I mean a text tag. So now we will see some of the other tags that we have in HTML. So the next tag that I'm going to tell you is an anchor tag. Anchor tag. Okay. So what is meant by an anchor tag? So an anchor tag is something which does a small work. It simply forward from the current website to any other website. Simply like when we press a button, we need to redirect to another website. Just take an example. I have a text called sign into Facebook. So whenever I click on that sign into Facebook, I need to go to the Facebook website. So what I'm telling is simply, I will open the Facebook website here. So I simply opened my Facebook website over here. And what I want to do is, I have a text. Whenever I click the text, I need to go to this Facebook website. So how can we do that? Is so you can start your guessing. What is the tag that we need to use for anchor tag? Just the tag. Very good, very good. Keep that coming. Exactly. So we need to simply use an A tag to do that. Okay. So let's do it. I simply will do with the anchor tag over here. In the body section, okay, I'll simply write go to Facebook. So I will save it. So now let's see what will happen. So what happened is it simply displayed the text as we wrote. But what we need to do is whenever we click on this go to Facebook, we need to go to this site, right? So I will try to click on this. So but nothing happening, right? So an anchor tag also has an extra attribute called href. Okay, this is an extra attribute to the anchor tag. So in this href, we need to simply paste the URL that we need to go. Means what is the URL of this Facebook website? I will simply copy it here and simply paste it in the href tag, href attribute. So now I will need to add it into the anchor tag. As I told you earlier in this presentation, you need to use those attributes in the starting HTML tag. So in the A tag, before it ends, I will simply keep an href. So as you can see, href, this is the website that we need to go whenever we click on the go to Facebook button. So now I will save it and I will refresh it here. See the difference. Okay, so let me refresh it. So as you can see, already a small extra styling is applied to the tag. So before we used the anchor tag, it simply gave us the text. But now whenever we use the href attribute, it adds an extra styling. So whenever I will click here, I will simply click on the, as you can see, the mouse also changed its cursor. So it is now pointing. So it is clickable now. So I will click it here. So as you can see, we are redirected to the Facebook website. So that's it. So this is an anchor tag. So it simply transfers from our website to any other website. You can place whatever website you want. You can simply replace it here, like for example, let's go to our college website. Whenever we click on that, so simply lendy.org. That's it. I will refresh it. I will change the text to go to Lendy. Okay, I will click on here. So as you can see, we are redirecting towards the Lendy website. Our website is very slow. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's not the point here. So this is the use of an anchor tag. So what an anchor tag does is simply transfers us from the current website to the any other website of our wish. That is the ultimate goal of an anchor tag. Okay, so after anchor tag, let's discuss about some. Okay, now we will see NMS tag, how to display images in the HTML. So this is an exciting part. So to display an image on HTML tag, it can be done in two ways. So in two ways we can display an image in the HTML. So the first one is displaying an image which is on the internet. So which means it is an online source image. So the image will be any other website. We can display it directly from the URL, or we can also display images from our computer. So which is a local source image. So the images will be displayed from our computer. So this method only works if the image is in your computer. But this method will apply to wherever, like it is an online image, right? So it will be stored in the cloud. I will tell you both the methods. Take a look. Okay. So now let's see how we can display an online source image on HTML. So okay, I will search for some images here. Okay, nice. Let me go into the images tab. Okay. What I need to do is simply get its link. I will go to open image in new tab. I will copy this URL. Okay, so this is the URL of the image. So it is not, I haven't downloaded the image or I did nothing. I simply copied the URL of the image. Okay, so now to display an image on HTML, we need to use the image tag. So not exactly image, it is somewhat different to the image. We need to use the img tag. Okay, we need to use the img tag. Notice the difference. Okay, some people are guessing, very good, but the difference is image tag is not in container tag. So as I told you earlier, container tags are something that has both an opening tag as well as closing tag, but the image tag is a non-container tag. A non-container tag means it doesn't have an opening, or it only has a single tag. So we can do that like this. We need to simply both match the starting tag as well as ending tag in simple img. So this is a non-container tag, which means we use the container tags when we need to display some information in between those tags. But the image image, we need not display any text with the image, right? So we simply doesn't need to include any closing tag, opening tag. We can go with an non-container tag. So image will have an extra attribute to display the images. So that attribute is src. So src is nothing but the source. What is the source of the image that we need to display? So our present source, we are displaying an online source image, right? So we need to get the URL of that image. As I already copied it, I will keep it src equals to, as I copied the URL earlier, I will simply paste it here. Okay, I guess it's over. I will paste this in the body tag. Okay, I will save it and observe the difference in the right side whenever I refresh. As you can see, the image is being displayed on the right side. So simply this is how we can display an online image onto our HTML file. So also the image tag also have some extra attributes called width and height. You can customize the image width and image height as well. Take an example, like we doesn't want the image to be this large, so I will simply decrease the width. So you can use as width. I will simply keep it as at 30. I will save and refresh. So as you can see, it is still visible, but very small, tiny. So I will zoom. So this is the width tag. For example, I will large it somewhat. I will keep it as 300. So now let's see what will happen. So this is right. So the image also has a height attribute as well. So these are the predefined attributes of HTML. I mean image tag. So I will simply save it as 200. Okay, let me refresh. So as you can see, it is compressed towards the width y-axis. Now let me make it as a square. So width equal to 300, height equal to 300. So as you can see, the image is being compressed as in a square. It is not a square, but it is being compressed as in a square. So these are the attributes that we can use for image tag. And this is how we can display an online source image into the HTML. We can display whatever image we want. Let me search for another image. I simply need to do one thing. I simply need to copy the URL of the image. Okay, come on. Yeah, this one. I will simply click open image in a new tab and copy the URL. Close this two tab. I will change this SRT tag as here. I will save it and I will refresh. So as you can see, the image automatically changed. So this is how we can display an online source image into our HTML file. So now we will see how we can display a local image. A local image is nothing but it is there in our browser. Sorry, in our computer. So I will go to my Explorer. I will go to my downloads. I will simply copy the image. Click on it. I will open the properties. Go to security and copy the image path. So copy the entire image path and simply put that location of that image in the src tag. So as you can see, users, my username, downloads, and the image name. I will simply save it and I will refresh here. So as you can see, the image is being displayed. So let me show you is that image. So this is the image that I used in the HTML. I will open it. So this is the image I have in my computer. And this is the image that is being displayed in the HTML. So as you can see, this is how we can display a local image. A local image is something that is inside of your computer storage. An online image is something which is outside of your computer. Okay. And the next tag that we are going to discuss, this is about image tag. Now we will see how we can display a list of information on the HTML file. Okay, a list of information is nothing but we need to display it point wise. So we can do that by using a list tag. So basically, lists are divided into two types as well. So the first list is an ordered list. and the second one is unordered list. Okay, so what is meant by an ordered list and what is meant by an unordered list? Simply, an ordered list is something which has an order. For example, this is the example for an ordered list. Means it is having an ID. Like this is the first point, this is the second point, and if we write anything else, this is the third point. So this is called an ordered list, which means we need to follow a particular order for each point in our list of information. For example, this is the example for ordered list. So if the same we need to convert this ordered list into an unordered list, we simply need to replace this one with an dot, a bullet point. Okay, simply it is not bullet point and it's simply showing here. So what is the bullet point means? It doesn't have a particular order of the reading. An ordered tag will have, ordered list will have unique number to each line of information, but an unordered list will have simply a bullet point. So I will show you how can we do that. So first of all, we will see how we can display an ordered list in the HTML file. Okay, so start your guesses for an ordered list. What is the tag that we need to use for ordered list? Okay, keep that coming, keep that coming. Okay, OL and UL, very good. OL, okay, yeah, exactly. So we need to, and also remember HTML is a, we need to, not mandatory, but using the small case characters is preferable. So we simply need to use ordered list, which is nothing but an OL tag. OL means ordered list. So this is the main tag. The information that we need to display is called a link, right? So it is a part of that list. So each of that information must be kept in an li tag. So li is nothing but it is a part that is inside the order list, which means we can have multiple li's in one OL tag. I will write this as first point, first item, and I will have another list tag and I will write it as second item, and I will change this to third item. So this is how an ordered list works. So let me show you how it displays the information in the browser. So I will remove this image tag. I will simply paste the OL tags here and I will erase this part. Okay. Now I will save this and I will refresh here. So as you can see, it displayed the information with 1, 2, 3. So it is an ordered list, right? So the numbering will be automatically given by the HTML. So if we need to display, if we simply change the OL to an UL, UL means unordered list. So if we simply change that OL to UL, observe the difference. As you can see, it simply changed the number 2 dots, a bullet point to be precise. So this is how an unordered list works. An ordered list is something that has IDs for each number, which means 1, 2, 3, so on. It will automatically, the HTML will provide. And that's the unordered list, it simply replaces that number with a bullet point. Okay, this is an unordered list, which means it doesn't have any count, right? So this is the first item, or this is, it doesn't have anything like that. But an ordered list will automatically provide you each and every line of information, like 1, 2, 3. So this is an order tag, and if we replace the OL with an UL, it will give us an unordered list. I hope you're clear till now. So please keep your responses in the chat box, either yes or no. Okay. So the next tag that we are going to discuss is the button tag. So button is something that we mostly use on any other websites. So a button is nothing but it simply performs a task whenever we click on the button. So okay, start your guessing. So to display a button tag, what is the tag that we need to use? So don't guess it as B, as we already used the B to display bold text. So what is the text that we need to use to display a button? Any guesses? Exactly. So simply we need to use a button. So button, it is a container tag, remember, which means whatever we write in between these opening and closing tag, it will be displayed as a label to a button. For example, I will simply write it as this is a button. Okay. Okay, I will simply replace this into the HTML. So guys, I simply erasing because I just want to show you how each HTML tag works individually rather than keeping all tags on a single HTML file. I will just in a couple of minutes, I will show you how you can nest the HTML files. So I will simply replace the button tag here and I will refresh the page. So as you can see, it displayed a button in the form of a button, right? I haven't applied any styling. It simply gave us the predefined style for a button. So this is how simply a button works. Whatever you write in between these button tags will be displayed as a label to that. So this is take an example, login. So I will simply save and refresh here. So whatever we do, is it visible, guys? Yeah, coming. So whatever I write in the button tag, it will be simply displayed as a label to our button. Okay, so it's simply, for example, let's write here a register. Now let's see what will happen. So as you can see, as I'm changing the text in the opening tag and closing tag of the button, the corresponding label is being changed. Now you can ask a doubt like, I need to do some action, right? Whenever I perform, I click on the button, I need to do some specific task. So to do that, we need to learn JavaScript. So we will be teaching it soon. So don't worry about that. First of all, this class is mainly focused about HTML, how each tag works out of the box without applying any styles. So I hope the button tag is clear to you. Okay, so now I will show you how we can another tag called input. Okay, so input is nothing but let's go to the facebook.com website again. See here. So here we can type some information right here. So this is called an input tag. So input tag is something that is used to take input from the user. Okay, it will give an empty rectangle box where the user can type some information. Okay, start your guessing. What is the tag that we need to use to create an input box?
Input.
Exactly. I prefer typing the chat box. It is kind of like disturbance. No issues. Very good. Very good. Keep that coming. Okay, now exactly almost everyone is correct, and also the differentiating point is the input is also a non-container tag. It is not a container tag. Please remove container, non-container tag. So what is meant by non-container tag? It simply has it doesn't have opening and closing separately. They are both simply merged into single tag. Now write how an input tag is displayed. As I gave you a hint, it is non-container tag, right? So now write how an input tag will be in the chat box. No forms not yet. So just simply change the input to some other, like as I told you earlier in the, okay, no guesses, anyone? Input is correct, but as it is a non-container tag, we need to keep and forward slash at the end like this. Okay, so we simply need now what I will do is I'll simply keep I will remove this button here and simply keep an input over here. So I will save it. I will refresh it. So as you can see, it simply gave as a rectangle box where I can type some information. So this is exactly. So this is something how input tag works, which means in input is something area where the user can interact with our website. For example, here he can enter some email or he can enter his password and anything. But as you can notice, the box is empty, which means take an example if you are writing in Python or C++ program, you will simply keep a cout statement, or will you write anything extra to cout? You will write like this, right? Enter the name. Yes or no? We can we will also display what we need to read from the user, right? So similarly, it is a website. So we need to tell the user that you need to enter some specific information inside the box, like enter your name or enter your email or enter your password. We need to display that information as well. So to keep an input, we need to use an attribute called placeholder. So a placeholder is something which displays predefinedly without entering anything. Like I will write enter email or in the placeholder. Okay, simply I wrote placeholder equal to, in the quotations, enter email. I will refresh the page. As you can see, then as you can immediately notice, it gave a small indication inside the box as enter email. So notice the difference now. Whenever I type a single letter, it will disappear. Okay, when I will remove this H again, it will display as enter email. So whenever I enter a single letter, it will automatically remove the placeholder. So a placeholder is something which will be displayed when the input tag is empty. Okay, which means that when the user haven't wrote anything in the input box, it will show the predefined placeholder. So if you can change whatever you want, like placeholder equal to password. You can simply do that. As you can see, it displays password. Whenever I enter something, it will automatically disappears. Okay, so this is how an input tag works. I hope till now this class is clear. Just give me another 10 minutes. I will quickly finish it off. So this is how an input tag works. So now the other tag that I need to tell you is which is a drop-down menu. Take an example. If you go to any websites, it will ask to choose your branch. So like CRC, ECE, EEE, we need to display those information predefinedly, right? So I will show you like how it is. Okay, I will write it over here. Okay, to display a drop-down menu, we need to use the select tag. The select tag. Okay, select is also an container tag, which means it has both opening and closing as well. So now a select tag is something that is used to display a drop-down information. So a drop-down will contain a list of information, right? So as I told you in the list section, UL. So an unordered list is something which is the outer part. The inside part will contain its separate list of information. So similarly, select is the outer tag, and we need to display options, right? So to display an option, we need to use the option tag. So I will write you some options. It will be clear for you. So option. I will simply no need of value currently. So I'll simply write as option. This is CRC, and I will write it as ECE. I will write it as EEE. I will save it and refresh the page here. So as you can see, it only displayed the first information, means CRC. If I change this to CSSC, notice the change. So what is the first option? It will be automatically displayed on the so take an example. Whenever we click on this down arrow, observe the change. It will display the remaining options as well. So this is you commonly used area of this is in the quiz websites. So if you want to conduct a quiz, select an option like A, B, C, D. So like that. So this is how it is simply a drop down tag. Okay, so it is used to display a predefined set of information in a list format. So this is something about the select tag. Now I just want to show you some of the another useful tags to you. So the first one is an horizontal row, which means simply observe it is a very easy one. I will write it here. P hello world. I will simply write a HR. HR is something horizontal row, which means it draws a horizontal line in the browser. So simply it is also an non-container tag, which means it simply has both opening and closing matched together. So I will refresh it here. So as you can see, it simply draws a thin line below the P tag. So this is used to draw some horizontal lines. It is the HR tag, horizontal row. I'll write it over here. So if you are interested, please write it. We will also share some other resources as well. So as we cannot clear the entire HTML in one class, so horizontal. So HR tag. Okay. I hope it made some sense to you. The next tag that I want to display is an audio tag. So see this, guys. It is a bit of different to some. So audio tag is nothing but I hope everyone downloads YouTube videos through any third-party website, right? So we can display the audio as well. So simply I will do what I do is audio. I will keep it as source tag, and simply SRC is something which audio that I want to display. Okay, I will simply do it as a horse dot something, any random information. I don't have any MP3 files in my current system, so I can't show you exactly. I will write it as like this. So source, please observe the change what it happens. Once you will see, you can understand a little about it. So I refreshed, but it doesn't shown up anything. So I need to add the controls as well to the audio tag. So controls. Now see what will happen. Is it visible, guys? Yeah, visible. So as you can see, it displayed an audio tag like a play button, a mute button, and also a slider as well. But as I doesn't have any correct source currently, it is disabled. So if you have any MP3 files in your computer, you can place that address in the SRC tag, SRC attribute, similar to how we displayed a local image, right? So kind of similar to that. So this is how an audio tag works. Simply, you can listen the songs from the HTML file as well directly. To get these controls, we need to keep this attribute. If you don't keep this attribute, we can't see anything. So we must need to place the audio controls. Yeah, this is somewhat a higher level tag. So take it with a pinch of salt. Nothing fancy in it. Okay, so the final tag for today I want to show you is about a video tag. Okay, so simply a video is something it displays a small viewer page in the website. So I will show you like a video. Simply same. I will simply copy this source, the source of the video file that you want to display. So I will write it as a horse.mp4 video comma. This is now the format will be video comma mp4. Okay, now another thing that I want is controls. Controls is something that we need, right? So I will simply the pass button, the play button, all will be generated by the HTML files. So as you can see, this is how a video tag works. Simply, it gave us a play button, a slider, mute button, click to full screen options. So currently, these all options are disabled as I don't have anything called horse.mp4 in my system. So if you have any videos or audios, you can simply place that address of that in the SRC tag. So I hope I cleared some of the tags. So please give us your response in the comment section. So I will finish it off with a small concept. Understand till now, guys? I'm looking at the comment section currently. Yeah, exactly. So another important useful tag is something called a div. Okay, this is the use of div is currently I can't tell as I don't have any CSS currently. So a div tag is simply nothing but it is used to divide the website into divisions. So a div tag is used to make divisions. Okay, simply divisions is nothing but I will show you something. So now the concept I will show you is nesting of tags. Please bear, I will this is completed almost. Sorry, nesting of tags, right? So nesting of tags. What is meant by nesting? As you can, if you studied nested classes and all those in the programming languages, and nesting is nothing but a tag inside a tag. It's called a nesting of tags. As simple as that. Nesting of classes means a class inside a class. In C++ or Python, anything in programming languages. In HTML, nesting of tags means a tag inside a tag. Okay, so assume that we have a case like I want to display a HTML, like I will show you. Please wait. I will write it over here. So observe this. I will save this and I will refresh here. So empty page. So now what I will do is I will simply write like this. So see that. What is it? So a h1 tag. Sorry, I will write a p tag here. So what is p tag? It simply displays an paragraph, right? So it's simply. So now what I will do is, without writing any text, I will write here a h1 tag. I hope it made some sense to you. The outer tag is a paragraph tag, and inside the paragraph tag, I have opened another tag called h1. So another h1. So now I will write here, hello world. So now guess your answers. The p tag will be displayed or h1 tag will be displayed in the browser. Keep your guesses coming. I will refresh the page. The question you understood, I wrote a h1 tag inside a p tag. So this is called a nesting of tags, which means the h1 tag is placed inside a p tag. These p tags are further placed in the body tag, and this body tag is further placed in the main HTML root tag. So this is called nesting of tags, a tag inside the tag. So I will save this. Now notice the difference. What will happen? So as you can see, it displayed a h1 tag. So which means it is the ultimately what is the lowest tag, it will be displayed in the browser, which means the h1 is the tag that displayed the hello world, right? So if we write this, if I change this h1 to a h2, change the difference. Notice the difference. It is somewhat decreased in size. So this is how what is it? Nesting of tags will work. A tag inside another tag. So this is called a nesting of tags. Okay. I hope I'm almost done. Take an example. If we want, we can write multiple tags as well, guys. I will write all tags at one place. Not image. I don't have anything currently. I will simply write a button tag. Input tag, it is better, right? So input placeholder equal to email. So simply see, I will create a form. So another one for password, and I will also create a button to submit the form. Button submit. So as you can see, I wrote two input tags and also a button tag. I will refresh the page. As you can see, we got two input tags as well as a button tag. So email, password, and also a submit button. So this is how the HTML, plain HTML works, guys, which means it doesn't have any predefined styling. So now the next classes which we take from tomorrow, tomorrow we will teach you about the CSS part. So CSS part will be quite interesting, as it will apply some styles to all of our tags. Like if we want to change the text colors or text sizes or anything like that, we must need to learn CSS. So this is basically about the plain HTML. So plain HTML is simply provides a structure to our website. It doesn't do anything fancy. It simply provides a piece of useful information, which we need to further customize to design a good website. So I hope I cleared some of the, I gave some information about HTML. So now that's it from my side. And also we will be providing some resources in our community. So please, if you don't yet join in our community, please join.